Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. Hopefully I've inserted a little bit of footage from this morning, just around the garden, looking at the birds and the trees, etc. It's a beautiful spring morning. No frost this morning, but there had been rain overnight. Yesterday morning it was frosty, but not so much today, and it stalled a little bit in the last wee while, but you know, it's finally feeling like spring is here. Anyway, let's get on with this. I can't remember what week number it is, it doesn't matter, it'll be on the description. So, this was last week's. Thanks for all your comments on that. I've still not got caught up on comments. The last couple of weeks I've been really busy because suddenly things are starting to come to life in the garden, and there was just garden work that needed to be done before everything really did come through. So I've got my card for this week. I just like to kind of look at how I would join them together. I don't want to cover much of that, so I think this one will be kind of joining like this. I don't know how yet. My plan is to probably join a few together in the same video, so you know, you will see that at some point. So I'll just roughly mark where the join might be. It might change, but it's just so I know not to put whatever I'm going to do, you know, to have anything across there. Right, so this week, I don't know where that landed. This week, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I had a thought about doing some collage. Two thoughts. I might leave the other one for next week because I couldn't find something. I wish I had £1 for every time I've said on a video that I couldn't find something. But I dug out this old magazine. It's not that old, April 23, and I just thought there might be a couple of images in here that I could use. So I liked this one with the sunflowers. I think it's very apt. Just about take up the complete length of the card. I liked that. There was another one here. This one, it's actually an advert, and I just thought that was nice in terms of kind of balance. You know, it's about the chakras, but you don't need to, whether you believe in that sort of thing, it doesn't matter. We're looking here in terms of just images that might be suitable for collage. But I did see another little advert, and this one was smaller, and I just liked this kind of image, and I thought the colours would go nice with the sunflower. I think I'm just going to pull these couple of things out and look at how they might go on the card. So, back in a moment. Okay, so I am thinking, I don't know whether to cut right round her or leave it like that. I do want to get as much of the sunflowers on as possible, so I think I'll cut round her. I'm not one for fussy cutting. I like to tear, but on this occasion I might make an exception to that. I think I'm going to cut it off about here. So I'll just tear that side. I don't want to cut all of her out because I quite like the kind of, I think I'm just going to cut up this side, so I'll do that off camera. Actually, I've changed my mind. I'm just going to try tearing it to begin with, because the colour of this does kind of fit in with that, so maybe I can just kind of do it that way. And of course I do like torn edges on things. I will just snip that white bit off though. So tearing that way can be a little bit laborious, but it's okay. I think I am definitely going to cut round her though, so I'm going to get my smaller scissors and then I'll be back. So I think what I might do is try and cut a little bit around this leaf so that the leaf would actually come over her. I'm not going to do all the fine detail on the leaves. That's just not me. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's just an idea. That feels better. Just bringing her in closer to the sunflowers. It's almost as if she's in there and about to smell them. So I think what I'm going to do, I need to get a kind of background piece of collage that they can then sit on. So let me have a little look through what I've got. So I've got this, which is a piece of tissue paper that's got, I think it's maybe more a bronze or a copper paint. It's not thick, I can see underneath. But I'm feeling that sticks out too much, so I think I may go down the road of trying to fussy cut. So that's going to take some time. I will be back shortly. No time at all for you. So I've done my fussy cutting. This is roughly how I'm going to have them. I've not cut into here. I feel now that this colour means they're not going to stand out enough. So I've actually decided, I quite like the mottled effect here, so I think all I'm going to do is actually put down some indigo and perhaps a little bit of sepia. I'm not going to put a lot down, I don't want it too bold. I thought a nice bright blue, and then I decided, no, just something a little bit more mottled. So I'll put a little bit of water on it, and I'm just hoping that this will just allow the images to stand out that bit more. I need a bit of scrap paper. Let's just do it onto this bit of tissue. maybe just a couple of tiny flecks of sepia. But if it all goes wrong and I don't like it at the end, I'll just put something else over it. So really just trying to do it kind of randomly. And I will add some water again. Another little bit of the indigo. Now this will dry later, and in fact I'm just going to let it go onto there. I'll absorb quite a bit of it. Right, I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute or two. I might just take the heat tool to it, in fact, just for speed. So that's kind of how it's going to look. I don't know that I'm all that keen with the white in there. I think what I might do, I'm going to cut this edge off because I feel that's a bit too... it's a bit too harsh in a sense. So I'm going to cut this off. That's a big pigeon on my roof light. Yeah, that feels a bit better. Like so. I'm wondering if just some colour pencil in here might do. So I'm going to try that. I've obviously got some little white bits round the edges, but what I might do is take some of the indigo and just try and go round the edges once it's down. This is very thin paper, that's why I'm a bit reluctant to do anything too wet on it, but I'm going to get a colour pencil. So I've got my dark indigo polychromo. We'll just see if it works. I don't want to do it too dark. Yeah, that will just be sufficient, I think, just to give the hint that we can see right through the back there. I'm not doing it very dark. I take my hat off to all of you that do this kind of detailed cutting for a lot of things. I just don't have the, well, I don't know that I don't have the patience for it, but I just often like my torn edges probably going over bits here that's going to get covered up anyway, but it won't matter. Just doing it roughly. I can always go back in afterwards. What I might do actually, just get on the back of this, is just take this around those white edges first, because with it being very thin paper, there is a danger that if I use ink on it, then it will simply absorb into the rest of the image. And while I don't mind it being a little bit grungy, I don't want the whole thing to kind of change colour on this occasion. I think that might just be sufficient. Tiny, tiny white bits around the edge. And I think what I might do is glue these two pieces in position first of all. and then I can line it up on the final piece. And I think, because again it's thin paper, I think I'm just going to use a glue stick on this occasion. You can still see my little line there, so I don't want to take that over much further than that. I think that would be fine in that position. A fraction maybe. Let's go for it. Glue stick. So if I put a bit of glue on her head, what if I put a bit of glue right down that side of her body? And then I bring this in again. Just going to cut a little bit away here. Not the leaf, don't cut the leaf. Okay, then a little bit on this leaf. Ah, now I'm covering the sun. I didn't want to cover the sun. Gently does it. Right, I'm going to figure this out off camera. I think that's how she's kind of holding like the sun in her hand, so I wanted that to be left in. So I think that means, is that part of that? No, that's a different leaf. So I think I'm just going to cut this down here. And I think, although I wanted the background in to begin with, I think I'm going to take it out. Just the thing that she's sitting on. Just even that much. I'm going to put some pencil around that in a minute to make it stand out a bit more, but meantime I'm going to glue this other leaf down. leaf. And then I'm going to glue the whole thing down. My other card. I think that will go nicely. Need a bit more glue. And I'm just going to come in round here with my dark indigo pencil. Just to try and make it stand out a little bit more. Not a hard line, just a kind of scumbling effect, which of course is what I've been doing on the background. Which reminds me, I had planned to have a video up last Wednesday showing me doing one of the background segments, but I got it, well, not that there was much editing required, but I got it done, but just didn't get round to actually uploading it, so that should be up this Wednesday. Of course, because I've gone close to this edge, I'm going to have to watch how I join the next one, but I'll think about that when the time comes. And I think I might come in with another couple of colours. I don't know if I've got a green, a turquoise, cobalt green. Right, I've got a Derwent Colour Soft in green. It was blunt on the end. I've sharpened it. I've probably sharpened it too much. Got quite a point on it now, but we'll see. Yep, thought that would happen. That's okay though. I just want to put a bit of colour to emphasise that particular leaf. Don't need much, it's just to kind of bring it out a bit. Maybe even this one. Right, let's just do them all. Okay, I've sharpened my indigo with a bit, so I'm going to come back in round it just with a tiny bit of a harder line possibly. just to make it stand out that little bit more. Just going to colour in that bit. Should have cut it off but decided to leave it, but I'm not liking it, so. I've got the Daler Rowney Pearlescent in the FW range. I think I used this last week, I did, in fact. So, probably got the same paintbrush sitting here, yep, and it's gone brick hard because I left it out. Just feeling like don't know if you can see that. So I'm just taking the petals of the sunflower, just a few of them, doing tiny little dots, just as if something is radiating from them. Right, leave that to dry a minute, and then I need to come up with a word. Let me take it back a bit. So I'm just going to use a white Posca pen, 0.7mm nib, and I'm just going to write my word. I think just going up like this. Be mindful of where it might need to join, so I'll start it here. And I've simply written the word shine. I just thought this was like it was shining, so I'm going to leave that a minute and then I'll just go over it and then I'll be back. So there we have it, the card for this week. I'm actually quite pleased with it, and yeah, I hope you can shine this week. Do take care. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.